Hello folks, Papa Top 912 coming at you with another one of our delicious recipes. Tonight we are going to be doing Savannah classic. It was a staple in my grandmother's house growing up. It is called smothered crab. And it's really nothing more than just, a good brown gravy with some blue crab in it and some vegetables sauteed down. Cook that all down and ladle it over some white rice. That was a meal that we had a lot of times growing up, and every time I eat it, always reminds me of my childhood. So I'm going to share that recipe with you tonight, and then I hope you try it and you can let me know how you like it. Again, we're going to be making smothered crab, or if you want to be fancy, you can call it crab etouffee, because etouffee doesn't mean anything more than smothered. So get my camera close up over here. Gonna show you what all we're working with today. This is the blue crab right here. That's about 8 blue crab. You can see I broke the shells and then I cleaned out the fat and popped them in half. Kept most of the legs on, popped the claws off. That's about 8 blue crab. And this is my vegetables. That's about 1 red, 1 yellow, 1 orange bell pepper, and 1 large size onion. To make my gravy, I got me a half a cup of flour and then just a half a stick of butter, and that's what I'm gonna use to make my roux. And then I'll thin that out with some chicken base, or basically chicken stock, but I'm gonna just use water and then this chicken bouillon over here. But the seasonings: Old Bay seasoning, bay leaves, that's my better than bouillon chicken paste. And that's what I use to make my chicken stock. I just mix that with water. Then I got some red pepper flakes, table salt, onion powder, garlic powder. Then on the back side, if my gravy's just a little bit thin, put some cornstarch in to thicken it up. And then this right here is accent. Accent is a flavor enhancer. It is not a seasoning that you cook with. When you doing your meals and you look at it and you go, this, I got something on the top end and something on the bottom end, but your salt and pepper not blending together quite right, put you just a little sprinkle accent. I promise you, it'll pull all that together and make that whole flavor palette just go over real well in your mouth. Again, it's not something that you want to just cook with. It's a flavor enhancer. Use it very sparingly, and don't use it in the beginning. Just use it at the very end. Once you put all your seasonings in your pot, if it's not doing exactly what you want to do, put a little accent in it, just a little bit, and then taste it, and then let me know what you think of that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start sauteing down these vegetables, and after those are sauteed down, we'll go ahead and start making the roux and put this whole thing together real quick for you. All right, guys, welcome back. As you can see now, I got these vegetables sauteing down in the pan, and I don't want to caramelize them. I just want to break them down a little bit, get them tender, and then I'm going to take them off and put them back in that bowl, and I'm going to start making my roux. And I remember when I was first explaining, I said I had the red, yellow, and orange bell peppers. They were really red, yellow, and green. Pretty sure you could saw that in the pan, but it doesn't matter which ones you use. Whatever you have, just use it. But again, that's about 3 bell peppers and 1 large onion sitting in there. And I'm just sauteing them down with a little bit of olive oil right now. So I'm going to go ahead and saute these down. Again, I just want to get them limp and start breaking them down, get those sugars to start coming out of them. I don't want to caramelize them. I don't want them to turn brown or anything like that. I just want to break them down a little bit and then take them off. That way, when I put them in the gravy, they'll already be soft and tender, and it won't have to stew down that much before it starts taking on all that flavor. We'll go ahead and cook these down, and we'll start making that roux. See y'all in a bit. All right, guys, so I got the butter melted down, and I got this flour in the pan here. Just gonna stir this around, get it to start turning brown on me. I might put a little more butter in it just to make it a little bit looser. because I'm just going to run that on around, keep it moving so it don't burn, and get that roux going. Over here, here's those vegetables. You can see they're not caramelized much at all. They're just nice and limp, so those flavors and sugars will come out of them real easy once I put them in that gravy when it's all done. So I'm going to continue on making this roux. I'll let you see what it looks like when it's done, and I'll also let you know if I add anything else to it. Alright guys, welcome back. It's been just about 10 minutes and now I got that chocolate brown roux that I was seeking. I did not put any more oil in there, I just kept it moving. And I had that pan up really high, right to the point of smoke point. And when I got it to smoke point, I would back it down a little bit. And once the pan cool off, I get it back up. You know, you can play with it, get it up and down the smoke point. But that only took me about 10 minutes to get right there. I'm going to go ahead and add some water to that. Alright guys, welcome back. Here's the start of my gravy here. I let that roux cook down for about 10 minutes like I said. And then I started adding the water to it. I put about 6 cups of water in here. And I'll add a little more if I need to. You can see it's real loose right now, but it'll start to thicken back up a little bit. Like I said, if it don't thicken up enough, I'll put a little cornstarch in there. But I just need to get enough liquid in there to cover those crabs when I put them in. So right now I'm going to go ahead and dump these vegetables back in there. Get that going. And then I'll place the crab in here. And then I'll start my seasoning process. I don't want to start any seasoning until I get the crab in there because those crab are already cooked at the crab house. So they got some seasoning in them, and you never want to overdo your pot. It's better to start small and keep adding in little increments than to start too much, because it's really hard to come back from a disaster. There are ways, but we're not going to go over that today. So here's my gravy with the vegetables in there. I'm going to come over here and grab these crabs. See that pot getting full right there now. And I keep all the legs and everything with those crabs. So those legs have buku flavor in them. So you can see right there, I got just about enough. Probably put 1 more cup of water in there. And then just let this here start to simmer and cooking. That gravy will thicken up. And I'll go ahead and add some seasonings to it. And then I'll get back with you to let you know what I put in there as far as seasonings go. So that's what we're working with right there. This dish is almost done. Just need to put the finishing touches on it and then just let it simmer for about 30 minutes. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back here. I ended up putting 2 more cups, so that's 8 cups of water that I put into this dish here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and start putting some seasonings in there. I'm going to start off with the dry ones first. I'm going to get those, that's about 6 bay leaves. I want to get those in there early and get them pressed down so they can start rehydrating, as I like to say. And I'm going to shake these red pepper flakes in there too. Now, I don't like a lot of spice, so that's probably going to be enough red pepper. And that's that Kroger red pepper. I think it's the Kroger one. Yeah, that's that Kroger red pepper. And now I don't know where they get their peppers from, but they're about twice as spicy than the McCormick or the other brand label peppers. Even the crushed one is, I meant the powdered one is spicy too. Now, give yourself a hefty dose of Old Bay, because that's really, get that crab seasoning in there like that. Smash that on in there. Then I'm going to give myself a nice hefty dose of onion, and this is just straight onion powder and garlic powder. Ain't no salt in it at all. So, lay that in there, and then I'm coming right back behind it with the garlic. And that's going to be where we start at right there. And then I'll continue to season at the taste. But I just wanted to let y'all kind of get an idea of the amount that I put in there. I don't ever really measure. Just how I go by feel. And then I'll just add a little more as needed. That's why you always start off under where you think you're going to be. And then work your way up. So as I look at this, I probably could have used about at least another quarter cup of flour to made it thicken up a little faster or better. So I went ahead and made my cornstarch slurry right there. I got that ready, but I'm not gonna pour that in until after I get the seasonings where I want them. Because as soon as that cornstarch hits it, this thing is gonna thicken up. That'll just make it harder to get those seasonings to dissolve and blend into the whole dish. So while it's nice and liquidy, that's when you want to add all of your seasonings in there. So I'm going to go ahead and taste this, and then I'll see how much of that chicken base paste I need. Probably just need 1 tablespoon. That's what I normally start off with there. And then we'll let that work for about 5 minutes, and we'll come back and taste it, and we'll go from there. But there we go. It's coming to the head right here. Almost to the end. Alright guys, so I'm back. The amount of chicken paste that I used 1.5 tablespoons. One wasn't quite enough, so I put just, call it a half. It's probably a little less than half. And then I put a light dusting of accent. I mean, I wouldn't even know how much. It's less, probably like a teaspoon of accent in there. Just sprinkle that across the top and blended that in, and man, it's perfect. So now I'm going to show you here. You can see it's still real liquidy, and that will still thicken up as it stews down. But what I'm going to do here, show you how fast this cornstarch works. And the hotter the flame, the quicker it works. So I'm going to just the cornstarch right there. I'm going to just start stirring this baby up. You can already look at her. See how thick that thing got. So now it's going to turn from a liquid to a nice gravy. See that right there? See how thick that is? It's going to lay it on that rice real good. So at this point here, we're just going to let this here stew down for about 30 minutes. And then we'll put it over some white rice. Alright guys, so here's the finished product right here. Let's see. That gravy is just like I want it. A little bit liquidy, but still thick, but not too thick. And it looked a little thick when I was first mixing it, but that's because I was using one hand and I couldn't, mix it all up together like I wanted to. So once I put the camera down, I was able to get around these edges and get all of that cornstarch mixed in and blended in all the way around the pan. Then end up putting probably like just another half a cup of water in there. Cornstarch is very water sensitive, so if you put too much, it will get a little thick, but if you just add a little bit of water, not a lot, it'll come back to life. Again, that was about a half a cup of difference of the water, and I got it right back where I wanted it right there. This is done stewed down to where we want it. Been on for about 30 minutes. So everything's all blended together now, and I just tasted it, and I'm happy with the flavors. So we're gonna lay it out over some rice, and we're gonna go ahead and eat. And like I was saying, here's my rice cooker, and there's rice. It's 2 cups, 1 cup of basmati and 1 cup of jasmine. And I use the 1.5 to 1 method in that rice cooker, and it comes out perfect every time. So, as I wrap this recipe up, like I said, it was just a favorite of mine from my childhood. My grandmother used to make for me, like I said, when I was opening this thing up. And it's a really good recipe. My daughter likes it as well. Mama likes it also. We don't eat it too often because we don't get down to Savannah that much. But when we do get down there, I will pick me up a dozen or 2 blue crab and bring them back up and eat them. You can get them cooked. You can freeze them for about a month or so. They never make it past a month here anyway. But we'll get about 2 dozen. Bring them back. I'll eat 6, freeze the rest, and then we'll make some crab dishes for a couple weeks, and then they're all gone. You can use this recipe with just about any type of shellfish. If you want to use crawfish, any other type of crab you want, or if you want to just use some shrimp, it all works out the same. Just make the gravy and then put the shellfish in there and let it simmer down. Ladle it over some rice. Once again, this is Papa Top 912, and this is my smothered crab. And we're going to go ahead and eat our dinner now. Hope you guys enjoy watching this video, and I hope you try this recipe for yourself. If you do, let me know how you like it.